Hi there folks, and welcome to the Wisdom episodes number 7, and I'd like to talk about spatial awareness. Yeah, changing places changes states of mind. Changing states of mind changes places. When you're in a room, there's 4 walls. You're contained in an energy space. Light doesn't get in or out, only through the windows, and sound doesn't get in and out, only through the walls. And magnetic fields are blocked, and other energies are blocked, and also there's people contained within and without of these 4 walls. That means that this room is connected to you in a space, and you have a kind of a relationship with that room. Let's say you're in a room and there's maybe some other people in there and some plants and things. So it's your duty, or it's your in your power, let's say, to change the energies within the room. Now, you know, I mean, a simple example would be, you know, if there was no air in the room, you would open the windows, because all living things in the room are going to need air. All the living things in the room are going to need water. So if the plants are drying out, then, you know, it's worth considering to water the plants, because they're a part of the room and the room is a part of you. So if you treat that room well, then it will give you something back. Every little last plant. And same as the people. Another way you can dynamically change the room, if there's 2 people in a room, then you can be the 3rd, and so you're changing the odds and the evens amongst a group of people by simply becoming present or absent within their group. If you leave the room to go to the toilet or something, then the dynamics within the room have changed, you know. And so there's a lot of wizardry to be done in rooms, and you know, you've got this 180 degree vision, so you should be able to see everybody in the room in a circle, and you should be able to check see if everybody is okay. So you're sitting in a room. Imagine yourself sitting in a room as a wizard or whatever. You're not going to go off into some kind of meditation or start doing some of your personal practices, because you're in a room, there's people there. So it's important to keep your attention within that room, and to keep the attention on the main things that are going on in that room. It might mean multitasking and checking out, oh, you know, they're doing that, that's doing that, and so that you can always check the dangers or situations in a room. But what you don't really want to be doing is like kind of sitting out off lines and thinking to yourself, contemplating something that's got nothing to do with the place or the time or the people or the life or anything that you're in now. So sometimes, you know, if you've got something to think about, then it's worth saving till later, or at least wait until you go to the toilet and just sit about it on the toilet. But while you're in a room full of life and people, there's nothing better than just to keep your attention, your presence, your attention focused on everything that's going on in the room, especially there's probably a conversation going on between 2 or 3 people. It's probably dominating the whole room. But even if you're not interested in that conversation, to keep a track on what's being said, so that you're not excluding yourself from the conversation, and you can always bring yourself in at any time. Plus, you know what you've missed. So this is what I call room awareness. It's like different to spatial awareness. Spatial awareness is you're just aware of your space. You know, when you're skateboarding or push biking or driving or whatever, you have this constant awareness of the space around you. So spatial awareness applies a lot more, in my opinion, to moving through space and moving space. So as opposed to a room that's stationary, there's a room that's moving, a vehicle or a transport device, you know, such as a motorcycle or car, or a bus. You know, a bus is a very good example, because if you get on a bus, then you're getting on a room full of other people and it's moving, so the surroundings are moving, and you're all in a ship together, a relationship. You're all on the same bus. So as you're in a room, you have kind of three different kind of positions that you can put yourself in. You can, you know, basically you can be standing, you can be sitting, you can be laying down. But those 2 of those positions are present and the other one is absent. So if I'm sat in here now and I'm you know, here, but then suddenly I started thinking about another time. You know, then I'm sort of absent. I'm not even on the video. You know, I've disappeared. So if I remain present, there's two possibilities for me to be. That's passive present, which means I'm the silent observer, or there's the active, where I bring myself in, change things, you know, start a conversation, execute the ideas for making food or whatever. So there's the people in the room who generally are like, say, leaders and directors, and then there's people who are in the room who are not so, say, got so many ideas, but they're good with their hands and good at workers. And then there's the people who are either just not very well experienced, or asleep, or not really there, but they still are part of the room and they still need looking after. So you've got these three types of people. You know, so what happens is then the leader will say, "Oh, come on, let's cook some chips for everybody." And so the leader decides, and he says, "Oh, yeah, no, we'll cook some beans," and so then he passes that onto the workers, or to the people who've got the abilities, and they say, "Yeah, you know, I'll peel the chips, you cook the chips, I'll open the tin of beans, we'll all cook." So the leader's cooking with the others. But then you've still got these people who are not good at cooking and not good at giving out orders, who are probably not even like there, you know, because they're busy asleep or thinking about something else. So you've got these three steps, and in that ship, you know, if you're say if you're in my house, I've got rules. You know, I've got, like, whether you're allowed to smoke in my living room or not, whether I like people to drink alcohol in my house, or whether, you know, you have your shoes on or off, or whether you're allowed to wear a hat in my living room. These are my rules because I'm captain of my ship, and we're in a private venue. It's a private venue because I own the certain title or equitable title over that property, and so legally and lawfully I am like the captain of my own ship. So I have rules. And if I've got friends, and if there's a team of us, then we've got rules above rules and ranks. So, you know, if you're one of my friends or whatever, then you've got certain rules to come in and make your own coffee. But if you haven't, then you don't. So there's these ranking systems. If you're on a moving vessel, then a moving vessel has got a captain, like a bus. The driver would be the captain. And so as we're moving out into the world, you know, we're moving in different various spaces, and it's really really useful to understand those spaces. Like if you go into a big public space, say in London or New York or somewhere where there's a lot of people walking around, Berlin or whatever, and you find a really busy stop and you just stand in a certain place, you can see how one person can influence millions of people and the flow of those millions of people. And it might only be a small influence, but it might be just enough for them to change significantly. So if you're in a room, you instantly have these chances. One, I can remove myself and be a sleeper. Two, I can sit back and watch the situation and jump in when I'm ready. Or three, I can see that this situation needs me to jump in, and I will jump in with subtlety and to try to take the situation somewhere to a better place, to make it better for everybody. So obviously you're taking on you're taking on one of three roles there as you move in through vessels, and you're also taking into consideration as you leave one vessel and enter another, its energy may change completely. So if you're sitting in a vessel, sensing it with your heart, mind, body, soul, and you're constantly using your attention in all kinds of ways to make sure that you're utilising that space and making it a good space, so that you're not just feeling good within yourself. The whole space around you is becoming a part of a bigger you. So that's about it, really. Spatial awareness. I can't really think if there's anything really important, but yeah, obviously as you change from one vessel to the next, the laws change. So sometimes if you think to yourself, I'm feeling a little bit drained of energy, you know, I feel like I need some more energy, then sometimes it's just good to get out of that space and to go to a space that you can feel is an energetic space, because some spaces at certain times may drain your energy and other spaces may give you energy. So just to end off this spatial awareness thing, I'd just like to suggest going out into the nature, maybe into the woods or into the park, and walk around and forget the thoughts in your head. No thoughts in your head. Your awareness needs to be on every pebble, every stone. Look at it for less than 3 seconds long. You know, don't capture your thoughts or your gaze on anything. And then suddenly, sensing through different parts of your whole bodies, as we've been through, you can feel then energy spots. And if you just stand or sit or kneel or put your hands flat onto the floor, you can actually feel that energy coming into you. Now, some of you may say, I don't believe in all that esoteric wishy-washy hogwash. But if you're a rational human being, then you'll know, as rationality says, we don't know the first thing about quantum physics. So if I'm like, if I have a certain kind of way of dealing with the energies in the nature, and I can't see it, I could just be pretending. It could just be all just my imagination. But if it works for me and I go away feeling energetic, then I don't mind if I've just like fooled myself. You know, I'm completely aware that if I sing to a glass of water and it tastes better afterwards, I could just be completely fooling myself. That's true, and I'm aware of that. But I don't mind, because I'm fooling myself. Nobody else is fooling me. You know. It's not that somebody says, oh no, water's dead, you can't do anything with it, you know, oh, I believe you, I'll never sing to it ever again. You know, I don't mind, I've lost nothing by singing to the water. So a rational, mathematical, intelligent human being should work out that singing to this glass of water costs me no energy whatsoever, cheers me up no end, and if it doesn't cheer up that glass of water, then I don't know, I just don't know. So, you know, the way you deal with your space, the way you deal with other people's space, and the way you deal with nature and the rooms, is just through keeping your attention on that space and seeing if you can be like a bit of a gardener. You know, make sure that, you know, the space is safe. You know, in a kitchen and there's a panhandle over the edge and you can spin it around, little things like that, and you can improve your world and other people's world to no end. You know, just by dealing with the space in that way. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, these are just my ideas. You know, I ain't read it really. You know, I ain't got. I don't know. So yeah, that's about it. So I hope you have a nice space. Yeah, subscribe and comment. I ain't got a lot of like people commenting and that, probably because I sound more like a teacher than somebody who's asking questions. But you know, I mean, you know, if you've got anything to say, just chuck it in them comments. I'm not gonna, you know, whatever. All right, so have a good day. Subscribe and comment and whatever. Cheerio.